Anti-Flag as a band has been about 13 years. Okay. And there's some misunderstanding about exactly when the band started, but this incarnation of Anti-Flag with myself, Justin Sane, Chris Head, Chris number 2, and Pat Thaddeck, that's been about 13. I was really brought up, going to protests, going to demonstrations, organizing different direct action protests and various other kinds of demonstrations as a young kid. My parents started the first vegetarian restaurant in our city. Oh. And they were very involved with human rights issues and civil rights issues, anti-nuclear weapon issues, and anti-war issues. So I grew up in that environment. And as a result of that, I think it's just natural that I was involved with protest music when I got older. One of the main issues that we've always talked about are anti-war issues. Yeah. And the fact that when you join the military, quite often you are going to fight and kill and die, not for freedom, not for democracy, but for multinational corporations, for example, Halliburton, yeah, or the oil companies in Iraq. And over the years, I've had kids come up to me at shows or write me letters and say, I was just about to join the military, and then I heard your band, yeah, and I read an interview with you, and that changed my mind. And if it wasn't for that, I would be over in Iraq right now. We've been approached by major labels for years, for 5-6 years, and we always felt that as a band we had to have 100% control over everything we did. We had to be able to say what we wanted to say, write the music we liked to write, write the kind of lyrics we wanted to write, have the kind of artwork and advertising in places that we felt appropriate. And no major label was ever willing to give that to us. Yeah. Recently, the label that we signed with, they were willing to give us those things. And knowing the kind of resources that they had that we could use and put into effect for our ideas, that was too good of an opportunity to pass up because we were going to have full control of those resources. Yes, I would rather take the money from the major label, have them put it into that message instead of the message of Britney Spears, yeah, or the message of something mindless and stupid. So in that respect, those were kind of the ideas and those were the thoughts that we were weighing out when we decided who to work with. We made it with a really interesting producer named Tony Visconti. Yeah. And Tony Visconti's worked with Morrissey and T-Rex and David Bowie. I mean, he's worked with some very interesting people. We wanted to break out of the mold of the kind of record that we'd made in the past because I think that once you've done something, it can become stagnant to do it over and over again. You want to push yourself to new limits. You want to try new things. And I think that the community that's grown up around the band is looking for us to do new things, to challenge them as well, not only in our music but in our ideas. For the first time, I really tried to write music that sounds to me like the message or the idea of the song. For example, there's a song called We Are the Lost, and it kind of goes back to what you and I were just talking about, the idea that in the verses, they're very stripped down verses. And it's the idea that it's a person by themselves, And then we kick into the chorus, it's a big, grand chorus. Yeah. And it's the idea that, you're at the show, you're with people, there are other people that you're connecting with. And in that, it can be a very powerful, motivating force in a life. And so in that respect, musically I tried to write songs based off the ideas in the songs. And we also brought in things that were really fun for us, like orchestral instruments, big timpani drums and tubular bells, and there's cello and brass. And, we went all out. We had these ideas for these, to try to take something new and incorporate it into the kind of music we do, take the kind of music we do to a new place. So at the heart of it, at the core of it, it's what we do. It's Anti-Flag, but in a more expansive form. It's something new and hopefully something that will resonate with people. I guess, you know, in all honesty, I would say no. You know, I mean, I kind of hate the fact that there are norms in punk rock. You know,
That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, I mean, I like, there is a specific kind of music that we really enjoy making. And that's the music that you hear on our records, you know. So that said, yeah, I mean, I think that there is a certain quote-unquote formula to punk rock, and that's what we enjoy playing. So, I mean, we certainly are still in that realm, but we definitely have pushed the boundaries of what is, you know, what is generally acceptable in that realm. Yeah. Oh, it's been great. It's been great. I mean, you know, usually try to go for vegan options as much as possible, and but there's always, even with language barriers, there's always people around to, you know, try to translate and try to help. So always work something out. You can get good soy milk pretty much everywhere you go nowadays. So that makes me quite happy.
Okay.
I'm easy to please.